Hi everybody and welcome back to a new video. My name's Leora and I make videos about books and reading and writing sometimes as well, and today I am here with another book haul. Most of the books I'm going to be discussing today were bought at YALC, which is the UK's Young Adult Literature Convention, which I attended, and it was a lot of fun. If you haven't seen my vlog of YALC yet, then definitely check it out. And today I just want to talk about a few of the books that I bought in London while I was there, and then also a few of the books I bought at the actual convention. But before we get into my book haul, let's hear a word from today's sponsor. Hi everybody and welcome to the sponsored bit of this video. Today's video is being kindly sponsored by italki, so thanks to them for sponsoring my content and making it possible for me to keep creating videos. So italki is an online learning platform where you can refine your language skills. As some of you may know, I currently speak 2 languages, English and Dutch, Nederlands, hallo, ja, ik kan ook Nederlands. But I would love to pick back up with learning French someday. I recently got a French book. This is Nous lier by Julia Billet. And honestly, I have no idea what's happening in this book. And if I learn French again, then I will know what is happening. And if you also want to refine your language skills and learn a new language, italki can help you doing so. They always have certified, qualified teachers available for one-on-one sessions in more than 150 languages. You can study at your own pace without worrying about rigid schedules or fixed fees, and you can practice for free with the italki community. Now, this is especially helpful because I've seen that talking to a community and speaking with other people can really help your conversational skills in a different language. When I was learning English, it was really helpful to talk to my friends who already spoke English, and the same goes for learning French. With italki, you can pay per lesson, so there's no subscription and no commitment. You can use the link to sign up for free to italki right now, and they are also celebrating their 15th anniversary as the world's top language learning platform. So to celebrate that, there's a special anniversary offer which you can check out via the link in my description box. Now, on top of all that, they are also doing a giveaway with $50 of italki credits over on social media, so the links for that will be down below as well. Thank you so much again to italki for sponsoring my content, and now let's get back to the rest of the video. Au revoir. Thank you so much to sponsor Leo. Now let's get into the book haul. Oh, also, by the way, if you still want to see some other stuff that I bought while I was in London, for example, these super cute earrings, then definitely check out my vlog. I think I said it already, but some extra promo. So the first book I want to talk about today that I bought in London is As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson. This is part 3 of the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series, which is a young adult thriller, crime, murder mystery series. It's a lot of fun. It's one of my favorites. And they had this one at the convention, and I believe it was only like £3, which is like so cheap. So of course I have no backbone and I had to get it. So I'm really excited I picked it up though, because this was the only one that was still missing from my collection. I own part 1 and part 2. I've read both of them as well. So this series is about Pippa Fitz-and-Moby, and she's sort of doing her end of school paper on a murder mystery that happened a long time ago in her town. And basically this really popular girl was killed, and her boyfriend was the main suspect, and he killed himself eventually. And there's still lots of slander about him in the town. They all think he did it, but Pippa's like, I'm pretty sure he had nothing to do with it. But she teams up together with his brother and tries to solve the mystery, and that is book 1. And then book 2, loads of other things happen. It's all very intriguing and exciting and sad at times as well. There's lots of amazing characters in these books. Honestly, I'm attached to each and every one of them, and I think they are so great. And I am so excited to see what's going to happen in this 3rd book. And it's of course also the finale, so I hope it's really good. If you've read it, definitely let me know your thoughts on it. And then we also went book shopping with a few other booktubers like Kat, Tasmin, Jodie, Joel, and many others. Had so much fun, and that is where I picked up a bunch of other books at Waterstones. One of the books I picked up at Waterstones was Lyra's Oxford by Philip Pullman. As most of you know, I love Philip Pullman. I love his writing. I think his Dark Materials is one of the most inventive and interesting fantasy series that's been written over the past 10 years. When was it written? I think it's quite old actually. Anyway, this is one of the novellas that come with that trilogy. I've read the whole trilogy, but I've never read any of the novellas. I've read the prequel and the sequel though. So I've also read those 2 big books. But then this is a really tiny one, which is a novella. And this is set 2 years after everything that happened in the final His Dark Materials book. It's about Lyra and her daemon Pantalaimon. And I think the witches are involved in it as well. And the witches are some of my favourite characters and like favourite clans in the books. So I'm really excited for this. It's also a beautiful copy. It is so stunning. And then the dust jacket, when you take it off, there's actually a map on the inside of the dust jacket, which is also really pretty. So I'm very excited about this. I hope it's really good. Now this is a book I've talked about a little bit on this channel already, and that is 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. This was on my soft girl summer to read list. I still haven't read it. I've read the first few chapters and then put it down again because I wasn't in the romance mood at the time. I believe this is a romance, but it's also like quite tragic, and it discusses chronic illnesses a lot. So all I know is that it's about Eva Mercy. She's a single mother. She's not had the best of luck in romance, but she's a smut author. Like, she published some smutty vampire books and they went really wild. Like, they're super popular right now, but she's kind of struggling with it because she doesn't want to be seen as a writer that can just do that. Like, she can do so much more, and she would love to write like some more serious books somewhere down the line. And then there's the award-winning enigmatic novelist Shane Hall, and she meets him at this literary event, and I think a romance is going to unfold. I have heard that this is quite a bit sad and a bit more on the serious or darker side at certain times, but I'm really excited to read it, and the first few chapters that I've read were so funny, like absolutely hilarious, so can't wait to dive into this one. Then this one I've already almost finished. I think I'm a little bit more than halfway through, and this is Serious Concerns by Wendy Cope. This is a poetry collection. As some of you know, I've been really into poetry for the last few weeks. I started out with some Billy Collins, and now I've graduated on to Wendy Cope. Some of my friends love her work and her poetry. One of the poems in this is one of my favourite poems of all time. It's very famous. I think it's like everybody's favourite poem, to be honest. It's called The Orange. I will put it up on the screen somewhere here so you can read it for yourself if you pause it. It's just so beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful poems, and what I love about this book is that, yes, it's definitely bittersweet and there's some like tragic and sad poems in here, but there's also lots of hopeful and fun and beautiful and like joyful poems, which I love because a lot of times poetry seems to be sad, but I love some funny poetry. It's like one of my favourite things, so very excited about this. Then another read I'm super excited about is Pretending by Holly Bourne. This is an adult novel by Holly Bourne. I've only read some of Holly Bourne's YA novels, so I'm really excited to see what she does in the adult genre. Let me just read a bit off the back of this. April hates men, how entitled and arrogant and cruel they are. She particularly hates being rejected by them, after she's gone to so much effort to put herself out there. So when April meets Joshua, she vows that this time things are going to be different. Because this time, April's pretending to be Gretel, the perfect woman, the kind that any man would fall in love with. Gretel is going to lure Joshua in, and then she's going to make him regret it. But are all men really the problem? Is being Gretel really the answer? And how long can April keep pretending to be someone she's not? This sounds so interesting, especially as somebody who's single myself and who dates regularly and has like some bad dates, some good dates, and like everything in between. And also as somebody who's had a fair share of bad experiences with men and who calls herself a feminist, I think this novel is going to give me a really interesting perspective on all of those things and issues, and also in being a single woman but sort of wanting to be in a relationship, but then at the same time wanting to be like independent and strong and not needing anybody. I think this is going to be really interesting, and knowing Holly Bourne, it's also going to be very funny, so I'm excited to read it. Then, yes, of course, I bought some more feminist fiction about breaking up with your boyfriend, because why not? This is Why Did You Stay by Rebecca Humphries. I think if you're from the UK, you know who Rebecca Humphries is. I'm not from the UK, so I did not know who Rebecca Humphries was. She's a writer and actress, and she's really interesting and really cool, and I loved this novel. I've almost finished it. I've got like 10, 20 pages to go. But what she was most known for a couple of years ago is for her breaking up with comedian He Who Shall Not Be Named, but I mean, you maybe know. She calls him with a capital H throughout this book. And basically, he cheated on her with his Strictly Come Dance partner. He was in Strictly Come Dance. And this novel details Rebecca's story and like what led up to the cheating and the toxicity of their relationship and how she got out of it and the support of her friends. This was a really good novel on toxic relationships and on learning to overcome them and overcome your issues and sometimes just dump somebody. And yeah, it was a really interesting perspective. I've not fully finished it, but I think I can say that I enjoyed it. I thought it was funny. There were some points where she made some like sort of statements that I thought were a little bit weird, and like I'm not sure how I felt about them. I just don't know yet. Like I can't place everything yet because I haven't finished it, but I do really enjoy reading it, and I picked it up mostly because of this cover, because the classic painting looks really cool. And then my Alice Oseman addiction ensues because I bought Nick and Charlie, which is a novella about Nick and Charlie from Heartstopper, and I also bought Solitaire, which is Alice Oseman's first book. Alice Oseman, love them. Also saw them at York. I saw them from a distance and also watched their panel, which was amazing and so inspiring as a writer as well. I was like, oh my god, I'm inspired. I need to go write right now. Heartstopper is one of my all-time favourite graphic novel series. It's so good. It's joyful, makes my heart warm, and this is a novella from that series. It's got a few comics in there, but also some written text, and it's something that I still wanted to pick up. And then I also got Alice's first book. Haven't heard a lot of good things about this, to be honest. Most of my friends didn't really like it, but I want to read their whole backlist, so here I am doing that. Oh, and this is, by the way, about Tori Spring, and I think it details suicide and depression as well, so definitely trigger warning for that, but I think it will be a great discussion on mental health. Once again, like, Alice Oseman is so good at writing in her novels. The next book I got was Record of a Spaceborne Few by Becky Chambers. I completely blame this purchase on Tasmin because Tasmin said that this was really good. As we all know, The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet is one of my all-time favourite books. If you haven't read it, you need to read it. It is wholesome, beautiful, it's about love, it's about humans and how weird we are, and it's sci-fi, it's about space, and it's just so good. It's like Gaze in Space, and it's just wonderful. And then the second book in that series wasn't my thing. I was like, Becky Chambers, what happened? I do not like this. And Tasmin said, yes, but you need to read the third book because that one is amazing again. So I bought the third book. I am excited to read this. I don't really know what it is about. I think there's, again, a bunch of humans who've left Earth and there's like a fleet in space, and there'll probably be some beautiful discussions on what it means to be human again. Yes, can't wait to read it. So happy I got it, and I hope I like it more than the second book. Then I bought both The Dragon Republic and The Burning God by Erif Kwong. I haven't read The Poppy War, but I do own it, and these were so cheap at Yolk. I think they were like £7 together. So I was like, I'll just get them, you know, and I'll read them at some point because I do really want to read The Poppy War, and I think I will like it because like all of my friends loved it. So yes, I bought both of these, and I couldn't tell you what they're about because I haven't read the first book in the series, and this is part 2 and 3. Oops. Then I went to this panel which was all about sci-fi and environmentalism, but then like in novels and fiction, and it was a really interesting panel at Yolk. And then one of the people on that panel was Temi O, and she wrote the novel Do You Dream of Terror Too? And she was just so enigmatic and interesting and funny on that panel that I was like, I need to buy her book, I need to get it. And I also got it signed, which is wonderful as well. Look! So in this novel, an astronomer finds a planet that is like Earth, and then a bunch of astronauts are recruited to go to that planet and start a new society over there. That's all I know about it, but it just sounded really interesting, and Temi was so cute and wonderful in her panel that I needed to get this book. So there you go. And then I bought another adult romance, which is double booked by Lily Linden, who I also saw on a panel. I know that this is about a woman who dumps her long-term boyfriend and then sort of falls in love with a lesbian drummer in a lesbian band, and it sounded amazing, and I was like, I need to read that right now. That sounds so good. And I also know that this has discussions on bisexuality, so I was interested in it because of that as well. I also got this one signed, so it's very exciting, and yes, I can't wait to dive into it. I hope it's funny and wonderful, and if it's not, at least it's got a really, really cute cover, but I have high hopes for this. And then last but not least, there's a book that I did not buy at Yolk, but I just really want to show you guys, and I haven't found like any other opportunity to talk about it, so I will just show it in this haul. This is a Dutch book. This is In het vervloekte hart by Rima Ori, which is one of my favorite Dutch fantasy authors. The translation of that is roughly In the Cursed Heart. It's in Dutch though, so unfortunately I don't think any of you can read it, but if you speak Dutch, definitely check it out. And I got this really special, beautiful edition of her second fantasy novel. It's got sprayed edges as well with these leaves on it, and it's just so beautiful. And it's also got printed art on the inside and on this side as well. Can't wait to dive into it. And I'm really interested to see what she made of this one. I think it's going to be absolutely wonderful if it's as good as the other fantasy novel that she wrote, so I'm really excited. So those are all the books I wanted to show you guys today. I had the best time at Yolk, and I hope you had the best time watching this vlog. Thank you so much to all my friends who enabled me into buying all these books, way more than I need, but I'm excited about all of them. Thank you so much for watching this vlog, and I hope to see all of you in the next video. Have a great day. Bye guys!